This is a lifetime of work, so you've got to keep the eyes shut for about a year or two till I get myself there. Having said that, I think that the part where you said that you consciously do this or you subconsciously do it, if you are more aware of what you're doing in front of your parents, in front of your children. For us, I could be completely wrong, and I'm extremely intimidated right now because I'm sitting to meet experts who know everything there is to know about raising children, and I only know everything there is to know about raising my children. So there is a big difference between everybody present here on the panel. Having said that, I feel very honored that you're here. Thank you. But I think I don't consciously steer away from anything except high volume, because that is, I don't want to raise my children in an aggressive environment because I don't want to reflect on them. Having said that, questions about self-love, lack of self-love, how do I look today, getting feedback, all of that happens in front of my children. I don't know how right that is, I don't know how wrong that is. I got a question about self-love came when I became a mom. But then I also operated at a point where within myself, I was operating at an honor code that I gave myself, which is whether my body has changed, whether my time is not mine, whether, what I expected out of motherhood in the first few months is very different from what life throws back at you, whether I was in postpartum depression, all of the above was questioned by me, but it was also answered back by me with an honor code saying, hey, you signed up for this and look what you got. I know that this is also on the outside, people say the same thing to you, but till you don't internalize that feeling, it's never going to change. So I did that, and I feel like when I had this out-of-body experience, seeing my children grow, giggle, and become the people that I want them to be, I really think it's also a part of self-love, because that amount of happiness is not quantifiable. So at the end of the day, even that qualifies. Just watching the sunset, looking at my children, sitting in a park, doing nothing, and sometimes not feeling like my most beautiful self is also okay. It's a part of self-love because my insides are happy. So for me, like I said, I can only speak about myself and my children. But yes, it's a process. I mean, telling yourself that you love your body no matter, it's the same body that has been on beauty pageants, and at the same time I put on 25 kgs to give birth, but I'm fine with it because it also comes from with time, with confidence, and you've got to weigh it out and give it time. I mean, that's where I look at it, and I'm sorry maybe this wasn't the answer you were expecting, but this is the person I am. Thank you.
I think, sorry, but I couldn't stop myself. I think that's the most honest side of Neha that I am witnessing today.
Thank you for that. But I just don't know why. Natural tendency to compare kids, maybe to motivate them or push them. Teachers sometimes may make statements that might feel a little hurtful to kids. So as educators, how can schools create a learning environment for kids that promotes collaboration over competition? So much for hosting this Orchid School. It's a wonderful question because technology in some of the other form. There's so much content out there. There is so much to influence. Let's just jog back 4.5 years. My firstborn is a daughter, and for me, the most important word that I had to ever teach my daughter was bus. That is the most important word because she needs to understand what's good for her if someone's crossing the line. And it started literally with 2 extra spoons of rice when she was just like, bus. And she would say, mama, and then she would say, bus, mama, bus, I'm done. And today at 4.5, she knows what's right for her, what's wrong for her, how much part time she wants, how many minutes of television she wants to give herself, because she knows that she's the one who's going to control the reins of her life, define what's right, define her boundaries, and she knows when and who to say bus to. And I feel like it's going to go a long way in her life.
That is very important for every parent where we come from. Even as teachers, there are times get fit into that kind of a crowd. But again, there's a boundary that needs to be put on. And yes, same as you are trying to teach your daughter, same way she always comes and tells me that enough, I don't need it. And that's where I feel that's a good thing, or a one point to me saying that yes, I've achieved something. To put that taking time.
When we do respect their boundaries, when they say no, like a child does, like you said, she doesn't have to use extra spoons of rice. But if you don't respect them, you force feed them. Involuntarily, we are giving them an impression that it's okay not to respect that word, which is going to impact.
For us, when we were growing up, it's just like my mom would say, "Table pe khana lag gaya, aalo khana kha lo." It was just two lines all the time, and then I'd be like, and she always had this theory that the only way to like, and still she says it, if the child is hungry, wo bhindi or tinda bhi kha lega, and if the child is not hungry, okay, chocolate's a bad example because they keep eating it, but then kahan se unke paas itna stamina hai chocolate khane ka. But it's true, like I tried this, and I also think that food is also one thing which is not supposed to be done in isolation. It is a social thing, and at least, you know, if you're not going to be there with your child during meal times, at least make sure you're not like tucking your child away in front of an iPad or in front of the screen facing the wall and then be like, because this part keeps getting bigger, but they don't gulp because they're so engrossed in like whatever is going on. But I feel like there have to be a few lines, a little bit of division, and I'm gonna let that. Like you said, you know, if you're saying I'm an influencer, I'm a celebrity, I'm an actor, so whatever else I do, I'm still a parent to my child, and I have to be extremely conscious. And I feel like one of the best ways, again, only parenting my own children and not anyone else's children, is to raise your child under the given circumstances with the same set of values that have trickled down on you by your parents. So for me, I was raised with a huge amount of value for money because I was raised in a 4G home where we had life and, you know, in a way that life was defined like, you know, you want to go out and play, you get a flat tire of someone else who's thrown it away, you find your own rope, you make your own swing, you swing it on your banyan tree, and that's what fun is. So yeah, I mean, I try and inculcate the same normalcy in my children as well. And I think that for me, the one thing that could take away from the way you define me is the fact that there could be a little less normalcy around my children because it's like, okay, yeah, you know, maybe they're, you know, more prone to being in the public eye. But that's also something that they need to understand because, you know, I still remember we were in Goa, I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and my daughter, we were coming out of the beach, it was sunset, we were walking towards that little patch where you go and find your car, and some people came to take a photograph with me, and they're like, she's like, Mama, why is everybody